I was never really sure what I was going to do with them, but I've been collecting bottle caps for the last like 2 or 3 years, and today I think I'm going to make a birdhouse with them. I mean, I am. You can see the picture right here, so. Spoiler alert, it works out. So this is like the easiest birdhouse you could ever build. I found these plans online where you can get all of your material from one 5.5-inch wide board that's around 50 inches long. I'm using a scrap piece from the old workbench that I took apart. Okay, now that we have our board cut to all of our different lengths, we're going to take one of the two roof pieces and remove from the width the thickness of whatever material we're using. My material is 3/4 of an inch thick, so that's exactly how much I'm going to remove. That way, when you butt the short roof piece into the long roof piece, it'll measure 5.5 inches from top to bottom, no matter what side you measure it from. Next up, we're cutting the front and the back, and all we got to do is measure up the height of the walls on either side, and then the center line, and then connect those dots. In my case, and according to the plans I'm using, the walls are 4 inches high, but you make your birdhouse as tall as your little heart desires. I use my table saw sled and a square for support to get nice straight cuts, but you can honestly just use the bandsaw. It's way safer, and you're not going to be able to see those cuts underneath the roof anyway. When I was putting this together, I noticed the plans didn't include any drainage holes or ventilation or a way to open it up and clean it out each season. And that's okay, these are all super easy to achieve. You'll notice on the back I only have 3 screws, and on the front I have 4 screws. If you take out this bottom screw, then the top 2 screws kind of act as a hinge, and you can open and close one side of the birdhouse. I'm just having a little trouble getting it open and closed, so we're going to take it back off, go to the table saw, and cut a heavy chamfer on one side. I'm also going to flip it over and cut a very slight 45-degree angle on the other side. That'll allow for a little bit of airflow, which apparently is important if you want your neighborhood birds to be living their best life. And I split the wood. Awesome. That's what I get for using drywall screws. Anyway, let's let off some steam and flatten out these bottle caps for the roofs. Once we have enough bottle caps flattened out, we're going to draw some horizontal lines across the roof, spaced out 5/8 of an inch, which is half the width of one flattened bottle cap. Then I'm just going to use a pneumatic staple gun to attach each bottle cap, making sure the top of each cap is aligned with each line that I've drawn across the roof. This will ensure that each layer overlaps the previous layer by half. This will ensure that you don't have any gaps in your roof, and your birds stay dry. Alright, I broke it again, but again, not a big deal. I can just glue it back on, and I'm going to use a little bit of CA glue as well so I can keep working on this thing. If you want to avoid this, just use some self-tapping screws like Craig screws, and this will be far less likely to happen. When it comes to drilling the hole, you want to be careful about how big you make it. Look up what birds are local in your area. I found like 8 million, and for some reason I landed on the wren. I don't even know what that is, but apparently it's the most common one in northern Delaware, so that's what I went with. As you can see, I'm just using a Dremel tool here to remove the excess bottle cappage. I was just going to hammer them over the edge, but that didn't work too well. And neither did this, as a matter of fact. That broke off like every single disc that I had, and eventually I had to break out the full-size angle grinder, and that was scary. So I guess I would recommend just cutting them in half with tin snips before you put them on. A birdhouse seems like a good project to get rid of some old paint that you're never going to use. Like this, I have no idea why I got this paint. It's like neon seafoam green or something. Once you're done with the painting, you can pretty much call it done, but I'm just going to add a couple more details, just some trim really to enclose the sharp edges of the bottle caps on the roof, and some other things to make it look pretty. Right, and don't forget to add a perch so the birdies have somewhere to sit. Probably use a Forstner bit too, instead of a drill bit. You'll have less tear out. Make sure it's nice and sanded so the birdies don't get no splinters. Can birds get splinters? I'm also going to put a perch on the side, which is on the door. It's really just a handle so I can open and close the door when I need to clean this thing out. Now, I know you're thinking here, why are you covering up the screws? Now you're not going to be able to take the bottom one out so you can open the door. But this little trough in the front is preventing me from getting to that screw anyway, so I just took it out permanently. And the door's a snug enough fit where I don't have to worry about it opening or closing randomly. That's all there's to it. Birdhouse is done, complete with ventilation, drainage holes, perch, door to open and close when you need to clean it out. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And this is just one idea I had for my bottle caps. I'm going to be posting more in the future, so if you're looking for more inspiration, consider subscribing, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Seems like a good time to use up some old, just spare bird paint. I don't even know what this is called.